You can from the beginning.
A friendly dive into Robert Eggers' gothic nightmare. Let me start with a confession. I wasn't sure we needed another Nosferatu. The original 1922 film is a silent, shadow-drenched masterpiece, a staple of every horror fan's education. Fast forward a century, and along comes Robert Eggers, the witch, the lighthouse, the Northman, who decides to tackle it as if trying to convince the world that he's the ultimate Dark Lord of atmospheric cinema. Guess what? He may have succeeded. Let's dig into the fangs of this movie. Spoiler-free, but juicy enough to get your blood pumping.
He's here!
Eggers' Nosferatu is not just a remake of the original, it's a full-throated Gothic reimagining. The film stays true to the bones of the story. A cursed vampire, Count Orlok, Bill Skarsgård, wreaks havoc on a small European town while obsessing over Ellen, Lily Rose Depp, a woman who embodies purity and defiance. Eggers ups the stakes, pun intended, throwing in psychological torment, gut-wrenching drama, and some of the sexiest, eeriest visuals ever to grace the screen.
Nosferatu.
Every frame is steeped in Eggers' meticulous attention to period detail. It's like walking into a nightmare you can't and don't want to wake up from. Let's talk performances first. Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, terrifying doesn't begin to cover it. He's a mix of grotesque and strangely alluring, a sinister shadow with gleaming eyes that seem to pierce your soul. Eggers doesn't let him off easy, dialing up the monstrosity while sprinkling in moments of unsettling charm.
He is coming.
Skarsgård takes Orlok to places we haven't seen before, a perfect blend of predatory menace and primal yearning. Then there's Lily Rose Depp as Ellen. Forget any preconceived notions you had about her acting chops, she steals the show.
I'm ready.
Supporting performances are no less stellar. Nicholas Hoult brings a tragic vulnerability as Thomas, while Willem Dafoe's small role as a professor adds a touch of sinister gravitas that only Dafoe can deliver. The not so good because every masterpiece needs flaws. Some critics have pointed out the talky nature of the first act, which may test your patience if you're just here for vampire carnage. But stick with it, the payoff is worth every brooding second.
Standing before me was...
Is it scary? Hell yes. This is where Eggers excels. He doesn't just scare you, he seeps into your bones. Nosferatu isn't the kind of horror that relies on cheap jump scares. It's a slow burn, one that grabs you by the throat, literally if Orlok has his way, and refuses to let go. In short, Eggers' Nosferatu is weird, wonderful, and utterly unforgettable. It's a love letter to the 1922 original while standing proudly on its own. Critics are already hailing it as one of the year's best horror films, and it's easy to see why. Absolutely. It's a movie that'll haunt you long after the credits roll, a fever dream of horror, beauty, and heartbreak. But don't say I didn't warn you. Count Orlok has a way of getting under your skin. Now, excuse me while I sleep with the lights on for the next month.